What is the meaning of regulation? According to Merriam-Webster, some common synonyms of regulation are canon, law, ordinance, precept, rule, and statute. While all of these words mean a principle governing action or procedure, regulation implies prescription by authority in order to control an organization or system. As you probably know, the concept of controlling a system is the antithesis of the crypto ethos when it comes to decentralization. So why are we arguing over whether or not we should have regulation or not? Well, the reality is that regulation is what we need, according to my opinion and the opinion of many other crypto folk. But we crypto folk are divided on this. Some don't want the government involved at all, and others, like myself, believe that if the government legitimizes space with friendly regulation, which allows the continued innovation and growth and prosperity of the ecosystem, but provides the guardrails and consumer protections that both the institutions and the masses want to have in order before they put their money into it or trust it or use it. Once we get that in place, then the prediction is that crypto gets its day. But until then, it's on the fringes. It's only going to get so much adoption. So without regulation, we might not see crypto actually get its day. Maybe Bitcoin, but the use of Web3, Ethereum, and all the other coins, they have purposes and utilities. And are they going to get stomped out by regulation? Well, today we're going to talk about regulation in Europe. Europe has zoomed past the US and a lot of the world with an upcoming comprehensive form of regulation, which I'll get into a second. And I'm going to dive into even some more details, things to be excited about. That's right, excited about. And welcome back to How About That Crypto, your home for crypto and Web3 news and updates. I am your host, Bitcoin Stylist, and today we're going to give you a little regulatory update. All right, so I'm just going to jump right in, and I'm going to share my screen. If you're listening on podcasts, you can use links below to follow along. Otherwise, listen up. All right, so I'm looking at an article by Sebastian St. Clair, and this is arguably from a couple weeks ago, but I just wanted to do a comprehensive episode on where I talk about I just saw this European regulation stuff. It's on Blockworks, and it's titled MiCA Delay Until April Gives EU Crypto Firms Ample Breathing Room. Complications around the translation into the EU's 24 official languages has led to a 2-month delay for the implementation of MiCA. And if you've been watching the channel, then you know that I've done extensive reporting on MiCA throughout the entire process of it being built. And then I stopped reporting on it once it went basically into there's like multiple like steps for laws to be adopted in the European Union, and once it passed the step where it wasn't really going to be changed about anymore, I stopped paying attention. And then I heard a couple weeks ago that there was a delay, so I thought it was important to come. Okay, so what is this delay? This delay happened right around like all the hype and craziness about FTX getting Sam Bankman-Fried getting arrested. So, is it based on concern for the entire ecosystem, or is it something else? Well, the first thing I just read, you said it has to do with the fact that they got to translate this complex law into a bunch of different languages. So let's keep going. The timing of the European Union's landmark crypto bill, slated for a vote in the EU Parliament, has been pushed back from February a further 2 months. Although technical in nature, rather than reflecting a policy or political disagreement, the delay will allow industry-related firms extra time to prepare. Dubbed the Markets in Crypto Assets, or MiCA, the EU regulation seeks to lay the formal groundwork for supervisory provisions, consumer protections, and environmental safeguards for digital assets. In European law, regulations have binding legal force throughout every member state. The European Union is a massive, massive economy, and it's got a bunch of people. So I'm pretty sure it's the third largest economy in the world, and they are now about to adopt crypto. All they got to do is finish translating it, and they're not disagreeing on it. I'm going to go down here, and it says, specifically, MiCA seeks to establish a licensing regime for exchanges and wallet providers, while ensuring stablecoin issuers have adequate reserves on hand to back redemptions. NFTs and DeFi have been deliberately excluded from MiCA's remit, with certain activities and additional investigations to follow. So I think it's important to understand that there is a big argument, and I covered this already, but in the past. But for those of you just kind of tuning in, there's a big argument over whether or not to include proof of work bans and energy bans. They ended up not doing that, but the expectation is that it's going to come, because it does talk about environmental protections, and there's some other stuff here like the transfer of funds regulation, and that's basically like a tracking regime, and they want all the from what I remember, this bill requires like Coinbase to collect information from everybody who moves money in and out. So if you send money from Coinbase to a private wallet, then that wallet has to be doxxed. Pretty sure that that's what's in there. So it's a little Orwellian in its surveillance, and so your European citizens are going to have to take extra steps for privacy. But the benefit is anybody invested. Okay, before I say that word, this is not financial advice. This is for my opinions and you to have entertainment on how I editorialize the news, and I leave the links below so you could do your own research. This is not supposed to be misinterpreted as financial, tax, or legal advice. You can see a professional for that. Okay, so the theory goes that with institutional money entering the space, price go up. All right. And so that's why I like regulation. I don't know why you don't like regulation, because I want the value of my investments to go up. And I think it's important that we all kind of figure out a way to maybe get a cold storage wallet and get Bitcoin into it in a way that isn't maybe connected to our name. And I think that's going to get harder and harder. So the sooner you do it, the better, just in case you want any censor proof crypto, because don't be fooled. Just because you have Bitcoin does not mean they can't censor you, because all they need to do is go after all the payment processors, all the exchanges and the bottlenecks. And how are you going to exchange your Bitcoin for anything else? How are you going to use it at a merchant? So I know they say it's censorship resistant. It's censorship resistant. And you can go to another country and move money around, but they can freeze wallets. So I mean, I would like to know what y'all think about that, but this is not what's the point of this. Today is about positive news. The positive news is that there is a comprehensive set of rules that is being applauded by the industry because it's going to open the floodgates for crypto. Now let's kind of keep this whole thing going on. Okay, so this is another article. It's a press release on Bitcoin.com titled "Unbanked and MasterCard Team Up to Accelerate Crypto Card Adoption Within Web3 Organizations in Europe." The press release says, today it was announced that Unbanked, the leading provider of white label crypto card issuance and program management services for Web3 companies, has partnered with MasterCard to accelerate DeFi card issuance in Europe. So DeFi is not part of the MiCA bill. It's expected that more research needs to be done, and then they're going to add rules for DeFi. It'd be nice if the US would write some sort of rules to establish some sort of like beginning framework of this space. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit here. Unbanked. So what is Unbanked? It says down here, Unbanked is a global fintech solution built on blockchain, predicated on the ethos that financial access and control is a fundamental human right. Unbanked connects traditional enterprise, fintech, and banking systems with blockchain infrastructure, expanding the utility of cryptocurrency for investing in everyday purchases. So a company like that is going to have a lot of trouble in a world with no regulations. So a company like this is going to do really well when they're getting the green light, especially when they're trying to plug in to banks and other financial institutions. So here we go. Unbanked has worked with the Litecoin Foundation to offer the Litecoin card to residents of the United States for more than 2 years. With the Unbanked and MasterCard partnership, the Litecoin card program will be made available to residents in the UK and Europe, reaching approximately 84% of Europe's population. Litecoin is one of the oldest and most used cryptocurrencies on a global scale and was specifically designed to provide fast, secure, and low-cost payments by leveraging the unique properties of blockchain technology. There has been a lot of anticipation from the Litecoin community on when more countries would come available. So everyone at Litecoin Foundation is very excited for this expansion of Litecoin card to residents of the UK and Europe. So I think that's awesome. I own Litecoin. This is good for Litecoin. They're enabling crypto card. This is a MasterCard that uses Litecoin rails. So that's pretty cool. And you could probably spend your Litecoin as well with using this card. I think that's cool. What do you think? Leave a comment below. Do you own Litecoin? I'd love to hear from you. All right, moving on. Now we're going in specifically into the UK because we were talking about the EU and then we were talking about EU in the UK. So here we go. UK Treasury publishes crypto framework paper. Here's what's inside. This is by David Atley, and it's on Cointelegraph, and it says His Majesty's Treasury published a long-anticipated consultation paper for the upcoming crypto regulation. It says His Majesty's Treasury published, I said that already. The extensive 80-page document covers a broad range of topics from the troubles of algorithmic stablecoins to non-fungible tokens and initial coin offerings. As stated by the Treasury, the proposals seek to place the UK's financial service sector at the forefront of crypto and avoid hardline control measures that have gained momentum globally amid the crypto winter. So they're basically saying like UK is putting out these rules and they're not taking this hardline measure like Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler and so many other people in the world. In India, they just doubled down on some BS 30% tax. That's insane. And how about China, which there's rumors that they're going to open back up. You know, there's all these countries that are like, oh, no, we can't let the people have any control over their money. No way. Like, we need to have complete control. Well, the UK is saying, you know what, we just want to be like on the top of the world and at the forefront of this stuff. So we're not going to, we're going to try to avoid these hardline control measures like Micah has over all that data, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe that becomes a normal thing. We'll see. It says the Treasury announced that there won't be a separate regulatory regime for crypto as it would fall under the framework of the UK's Financial Services and Markets Act, which was in 2000, by the way, written in 2000, not like our Howey test that came from the 40s. Which is what the SEC is trying to use to evaluate cryptocurrency. It says the goal is to level the playing field between crypto and traditional finances. However, Britain's chief financial regulator, the Financial Conduct Authority, will tailor the existing FSMA's rules for the digital asset market. So basically, they're like, we're not going to write new rules. So that sounds a little bit like what Gary Gensler is saying, but they're going to tailor the rules for digital asset space. So that's exactly what Gary Gensler is not. They're like, okay, this is how we're going to apply the Howey test and our securities laws to crypto. He's like, no, crypto can fall into this framework, and that's not accurate completely. Like, there needs to be some sort of guidance and tailoring for the digital space, and this, I think the UK is on top of it. And don't forget, they have a prime minister who is like all on top of crypto. He's all into it. It also says at least one nuisance from the decision is the obligation for crypto market participants to repeat the registration process. So they've already undergone some process, but they have to undergo it again, and it's going to be more scrutiny, and they're going to have to, be assessed on a larger amount of things, more like the traditional financial markets. So I think this is really positive news. And to continue on the UK financial regulators rules, this article is by Jack Schickler, and it's on CoinDesk, and it's titled UK Financial Regulator Warns Crypto Firms of Jail Time for Unauthorized Ads. I think this is really interesting. It says new ad rules for the crypto sector were proposed last year. The Treasury said last week that the crypto companies registered for money laundering purposes and not just fully authorized traditional financial firms will be allowed to approve new campaigns. So basically, there was a point where you weren't allowed to put up advertisements. I think they like expanded and stopped it, and then they're like, oh, you know what? Actually, it says the new crypto regime is not yet finalized, and it said the rules would mirror those for other high-risk investments. So basically, they're just fitting digital assets into their current framework and giving guidance to crypto companies on how to perform and behave. This is incredible, in my opinion. Do you disagree? Leave a comment below. Next and final article, Arjit Sarkar on Cointelegraph, titled London Emerges as World's Most Crypto Ready for Business. I think this is awesome. So here we go. Along with pro-crypto regulations, mainstream adoption of cryptocurrencies requires a supporting infrastructure that can allow the general public access and exposure to the ecosystem. When considering 8 key indicators around taxes, ATMs, jobs, events, and crypto, London stands at the top of the most crypto-ready city in the world. United Kingdom's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's vision to ensure the UK financial service industry is always at the forefront of technology and innovation is on the right path. An examination. Okay, so let's talk about what these key factors are. The key factors considered in the study included the total number of crypto-specific events, so like conferences, I'm assuming, and hackathons and stuff like that, crypto-related jobs, crypto-specific companies, and the number of crypto ATMs. Some of the non-crypto considerations include quality of life, research and development, spending as a percentage of gross domestic product, and capital gains tax rate. Of the lot, London is home to the most people working in crypto-related jobs, an indication of higher interest among general public in the crypto ecosystem. However, other cities overshadow London in some metrics, strengthening the case for the global adoption of cryptocurrencies. So this is huge. This is super huge. UK is like was for so long, like, and arguably might still be, maybe not. I mean, you can't compare it to New York City, but and Wall Street, but like the UK is like old world financial markets and like banks, and like these things have been around forever, and they're trying to get out in front, maybe be ahead of Wall Street, because the US regulators and legislators are sleeping on their job. So anyway, I think this is super exciting, and it also says, it goes in here, all these different lists. You can see the top 20 crypto hub cities. Number 1 is London, then Dubai, then New York City. And then the really cool thing, even though in lack of all of the regulations, I'm seeing New York, LA, and Chicago, the only nation on this list to have 3 cities that are top crypto hubs. So give us a little bit of like rules of the road so that we could start bringing in like the big boys, the big money, the smart money, and all that stuff, bringing it into crypto. And all of us who are sitting here, this is not financial advice, but we should be sitting pretty. Anyway, this is exciting. I think regulation is a big part of adoption, and we need good regulation. We can't have bad regulation. I think no regulation is better than bad regulation, but good regulation is the best. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below, and have a good evening, and hodl on.